Hello my fellow chairs and welcome back to EU4. Today we're going to be playing as my favorite nation in the entire game, the Timurids. Why are the Timurids your favorite nation, Chairman? Part of it is because, one, they have a ton of vassals at the start of the game. They also have a pretty sizable nation, decent economy, and a relatively decent sized army at the start. On top of that, they have some pretty solid ideas with land leader shock, diplomatic relations, discipline, prestige, morale of armies, shock damage, legitimacy, tech cost, trade power, and yearly corruption. They can also go on to form the Mughals, reform the Yuan dynasty, and ultimately go on to form the Mongolian Empire. They also received quite a bit of an update in the When's It Change DLC. That's part of the reason why I want to make this video, and we're going to go ahead and try and reform Tamerlane's entire empire. I'll try and put that up on the screen now. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it as the Timurids. So as I mentioned at the start, we do have all these subjects, however they are very disloyal towards us. And to make matters even worse, our ruler Shah Rukh, when he dies, all these guys become even more disloyal. And the problem is he's 67 years old. In order to kind of deal with that, we're going to have to go with this lenient taxation policy that's going to lower the liberty desire of all these guys. And for emirs, we're going to go ahead and hand out strong duchies. While we're here, might as well hand out all the other things. I'm not going to do any of the advisor ones because that's just going to make my stability more expensive, and Shah Rukh's going to die very soon. I'm also not going to do a mere integration policy because we actually have cores on all of our subjects except for Sistan. I'm also going to go ahead and hire the free company over here, and as soon as December 11th rolls around, we are going to immediately attack the nation of Ajam. I'm also going to set one of my diplomats to just constantly improve relations with my subject countries, and we're going to go ahead and royal marry all these guys just to keep them in line. In terms of rivals, Ottomans and the Mamluks, sounds good to me. And of course we'll do Ajam since we'll be attacking them. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a mission tree now. Prior to this, the Timurids had like just the generic mission tree and it just kind of sucked. You know, now you actually have a lot of things that gear you towards reconquering everything that was in Tamerlane's empire and even expanding outside of that, and kind of intermingling more with the Persians as well too. You could kind of go down a path of becoming more Persian, or you could go down a path of becoming a horde, which we're kind of going to lean more that way. I'm also going to go ahead and focus on mill at the start here because, well, just to keep my vassals in line, we got to have better mill tech. Alright, let's go ahead and attack Ajam. They're only allied to Shirvan and Hisn Haifa. So yeah, let's attack them for Semnan here, which their entire nation is a core. So we could actually full annex these guys in one war. What I'm also going to do in order to preserve my manpower and my troops is I'm just going to keep my main army right here in Semnan, but I'm going to use my free company to do all the sieging and take all the attrition, while my subjects do all the fighting. And Shah Rukh is dead, meaning, yeah, all my subjects are kind of ticked off at me right now. So in order to kind of remedy this, I'm just going to dev up some of their land a little bit, especially Transoceania. If I could get them to be loyal, we're pretty much good. Okay, and we can finally full annex Ajam, which means I'm going to get both Ardalan and Luristan as my subjects. So yay me. That, of course, means all those guys are ticked off with me. If I just simply subjugated these guys, that would have lowered the liberty desire by 20%, but I'll take this. And I get a bunch of permanent claims in these areas. Okay, since I got my subjects pretty much completely under control, aside from Ardalan and Luristan, we're going to go ahead and attack Mushasha, and we're going to co-belligerent Galan. And I'm just going to let my subjects do all the work, because they can handle it. And because I'm one of the very first nations to actually get Mill Tech 4 over here, all my subjects are very much loyal. Amazing what technology can do for you. So these interactions refer to this right here. We could either choose the top option, get more admin, and even more money from our subjects when we choose that option. Land acquisition one gives us more manpower, double the manpower, or the last one actually gives us an additional stability and 50 admin, which, I mean, that's really, really nice, to be honest with you. So I think we will just go ahead and do this. And our next mission right here, this one is the important one. When we actually complete this fresh blood mission here, we just have to own at least 600 dev, 60 prestige, and have over 100,000 troops. And we actually changed to Gurkhani, what the Timurid dynasty actually called itself. And we also get our missions that actually allow us to become a horde. Okay, so I just took over all this stuff over here from Mushasha. And all the provinces in this area are owned by us. Alternatively, we could also make sure that Mushasha does not exist. But I just took this stuff because I have claims here. I don't want to take too much AE, especially as we get into Korakoyunlu. So I'll go ahead and complete this mission. We get the destruction of Mushasha. And it gives us missionary strength versus heretics. And our monarchs actually get to live a little bit longer, which is fantastic, because if you guys know anything about any of my games, my rulers on average die by the time they turn 30. So yeah, always gotta love it when the pen is mightier than the sword. You could just freely vassalize somebody like Biapas over here. I also think it's time we go ahead and attack Korakoyunlu. I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. I'm just gonna let my subjects do all the work, because why? I really don't feel like losing any manpower and them being even more ticked off with me. I'm also just going to take a couple provinces over here. We're going to release out the nation of Iraq, and we're going to just basically launch a bunch of reconquest wars as this goes on. And we'll probably also release out somebody else over here, like maybe Armenia or... Oh, actually, can I vassalize Shirvan? I can. Maybe I'll do that really quick, and then I'll go ahead and attack Korakoyunlu. Alright, here we go, attacking Korakoyunlu. I will go ahead co-belligerent Mazandaran over here. No sense in trying, like, just keeping these guys around. And we will do a couple reconquest wars here. We're just going to attack them for whatever's over here. Maybe like Alam. For a tier 2 government reform, we're just going to go strengthen noble privileges. It's always a good one. Because I just conquered Mazandaran, I now get permanent claims on everything over here. My next mission is pretty much to just destroy Korakoyunlu. Okay, so this war took a little bit longer, like almost 10 years, but that's because I didn't fight a single battle. I straight up just let my subjects do everything in order to fight Korakoyunlu. And yeah, we got a couple of our cores back here. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I will be taking at least one province for myself, just so I can release out the nation of Iraq. And as you guys can see, I'm well over my Diplo limit, so we're going to start integrating some of these subjects like Fars, Khorasan, and Afghanistan just to get rid of them. I'm also at some point going to just Diplo vassalize Baluchistan, I guess, but I guess they own a core here on these two provinces, so maybe not. So here's one of my favorite things about the Timurids. Because we own cores on all these guys on their entire nations, pretty much I could just annex them within the month. Let's go ahead and do that to both of these guys. It's going to lower some liberty desire. I can also do it to Transoceania. Might as well, just to get the biggest one out of the way. Boom. Immediate just annexation. And none of my subjects will ever be disloyal ever again. I can also complete this mission, I guess. Northern flank, which gives me a bunch of permanent claims over here, which, yeah, basically gears me towards reforming the Yuan dynasty. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and press my claim against the Uzbek. We're going to attack them for this province here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. And yeah. Alright, with our war with Uzbek, I'm going to take this much land. Decent amount of money. Take out some people. Let's see. Not too much. Let's go ahead, finish reclaiming our northern frontier by just simply conquering Nagai. Tier 3 government reform, we're going to go with decentralized bureaucracy, just because we have so many, or actually, for a tier 3 government reform, we're going to go with centralized monarchical bureaucracy. Man, that one's a mouthful, but we'll do that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, full annex Mogulstan, and that's going to allow me to get Yarkand as a subject now. And we're going to chill for, I'll give myself 3 years, and then we're going to go ahead and attack Korakoyunlu. Alright, let's go ahead and attack Korakoyunlu. We're going to obviously do a reconquest war, so we take a little bit less AE. This war against Karakoyunlu was super easy. We're going to be able to get all of Iraq's cores back, plus I'm going to give them a little bit more land, and I'm also going to give my buddy Ardalan this province here. Some of these missions for the Timurids, like the develop Herat one, and then also this one here gives us like a cathedral and a university over here in this province that's actually kind of gross, so it makes this super cheap to develop. And obviously we maximize how much tax we get out of there, plus we're in Persia, so we're already making like a buttload of money. Second idea group time, we're gonna go ahead pick up admin ideas. I need the governing capacity desperately. Plus core creation cost is always very nice. Also, this hands down is like the best feature in all of EU4, which is ask for knowledge sharing. If you can do it, please just go ahead and do it instead of having to dev up for stuff. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna break my alliance with Hadramut because I just need the institution from you. This mission here, Tajik recruits, is also very disgusting. You just need to have about 50,000 troops in the field, or 50,000 manpower, which obviously we are well over that mark. We could have up to 100,000 manpower, but 3 of our most developed provinces with manpower buildings actually get upgraded to training fields. We also get a general who has additional shock, fire, maneuver, and siege. It's these missions for Timurids are just disgusting. They're already like one of the strongest, if not like the strongest nation at the start of the game. Plus you add in these missions, and they're just even more absurdly strong. Finally, I annexed my boy Sistan, which now means I can complete this mission, get Abu Said as my general, who's just completely overpowered, and now we get a bunch of permanent claims over here. So yeah, we're going to be invading Delhi, Baluchistan, and Sindh next. As for Baluchistan, I'm just going to go ahead and attack them, and I'm going to make them my subject. We're going to go ahead and attack Sindh, who's allied to both Delhi and Gujarat. This was a pretty easy war. Delhi had rebels and stuff, so I just had to occupy their capital. Made them break their alliance with a bunch of people over here, and as for Sindh, I'm literally just taking whatever Baluchistan used to own. For tier 4 government reform, we're just going to go with strengthen the ulema for the extra missionary strength. We actually have quite a bit of stuff that we still have to convert. Plus we're going to be expanding in India, and we're going to have to deal with Hindu as well too. Finally, I can embrace the Renaissance. Of course we have colonialism, but at least I can do this. Get somewhat caught up to the Ottomans, who they're getting into the 9s now. But yeah, we're also expanding into India because Delhi decided to explode. Finally, I finished this mission, Timurid Empire, which just requires us to complete these 2 missions. Have at least 600 dev. I'm at 812, 60 prestige. I'm at 99, and have an army equal or larger than 100. I'm like, for my force limit, I'm right at 100,000. So now I can complete this, and I will now become Gurkhani. I'll also get Timurids get Gurkhani Empire till the Gurkhanid Empire until the end of the Age of Discovery, which we're already out of that, or we're about to be out of that. And we could also get the additional branching missions. So now we are the Gurkhani. We have 2 different mission trees that we could do, which is one is the Persian one. I believe we could actually become Persia by doing this whole mission and all that, or doing all these missions. It pretty much just maintains the status quo, it looks like, but we're going to go down the Nomad one here, which pretty much just gets us into conquering like the Ottomans and some of the Mamluks and all that stuff. Pretty much it's going to gear us into being like just massively huge. We can also make the Yuan apparently into a subject nation over here. That's actually kind of cool. And we're also going to be gunning for the Horsemen of the Apocalypse thing, which it gives us more cavalry combat ability, etc. I can also restore my name. I'm not going to. We're just going to go with Gurkhani because that's what the Timurid, that's what they actually called themselves. I also just conquered the entirety of what's left of the Karakoyunlu, which was super easy because they had literally no standing army, and there we go. They're full annex, and now I can complete the mission. Feuds of the Curb the Koyunlu, which now gives us permanent claims on the Egypt-Palestine Jordan, Syria, Syrian Desert, Aleppo, Anatolia, and Balkans regions. We also get the event end of the feuds. So we get base manpower, local tax, and local manpower. Nice. But now we're really into the meat of just conquering all of this stuff. And amongst the great powers pretty much requires us to have over 2,000 development, be like the number 1 or 2 great power, and have at least 300,000 troops. We're also going to start getting on that by just simply attacking the Mamluks here. And I'm thinking we will release out Syria if they're still available. Yeah, we will. And we'll do some reconquests with them as well. Alright, first major battle really of the game. All the other wars have been pretty much steamrolls. This is our first battle against somebody that's actually strong, like the Mamluks. And we're just absolutely demolishing them. That was not hard at all. Alright, this war against the Mamluks was so much easier than what I initially thought it would be. We're going to take these provinces over here. It's going to be pretty much like no war score whatsoever, but I'm going to release Syria out of one of these provinces. I want to take a ton of their money. And we will be back to beat up on the Mamluks soon enough. And we are officially in the Age of Reformation. Unfortunately, because we are not the Persians nor the Mughals, we don't get any bonuses, but oh well. There's some nice stuff in here like the religious wars thing, institutional spread, and the religious conversions. Alright, I think it's time we finally invade the Ottomans. I'm 1 whole militech ahead of them. They're at war with the Mamluks. We're about equal in terms of just military strength overall, so let's do it. Also, some of their allies like Tunis and Medina would not join, so might as well take advantage of that while I can. Let's attack a Foucault over here, since that's literally right on my border. This war honestly comes down to whoever's going to dominate the Middle East for years to come, because yeah, me and the Ottomans are the 2 big boys right now. I would say the Mamluks, but the Mamluks they're really far behind. And this is going to be a huge battle over here. It's going to be in the grasslands. Ottomans will probably end up winning this just because they're the Ottomans. We will see. I mean, my guys are doing way better. They have better discipline, way better morale, almost a whole other pip of morale on me. My generals, man, ooh, we actually won that battle. Pretty much my goal in this war is to keep them out of Egypt. Obviously, it's to expand over here and all that stuff. All that fun, good old stuff. But yeah, it's mainly to keep them out of Egypt right now. A lot of times you guys ask me, how do I win wars against superior opponents? And honestly, the best, simplest answer to that is I pick off all their little small armies. Plus I take advantage of terrain and I try to fight as many defensive battles as possible, even in offensive wars. Now in the case of this army right here, that 23 stack, you'll see that little lock there. They're going to be locked. It's going to be the defensive battle for my subject Ardalan. And we may end up stack wiping 20,000 Ottomans. Ardalan ended up getting stack wiped before I even got there, so it was a defensive battle, but I did take out a good portion of their guys. And all I'm going to keep doing is just keeping the pressure on as I basically keep attacking these smaller stacks. You know, all the AIs kind of being derp and going after my forts and not consolidating their armies. And at the start of this war, the Ottomans had about 60,000 manpower, which is about where I was at. They also had 100,000 troops. They are about 20,000 manpower, so they do have more manpower than me right now. But they are under that 100,000 troop mark. And of course, I've stack wiped a few of their armies. And really, this is just how you have to win wars. You just have to keep on just grinding away at their smaller stacks and just wiping out their manpower as much as possible. Also, finally I got my 454 in charge. I'm so happy about that. We're about to enter into a freaking golden age technologically. Alright, I just defeated 15,000 Ottomans. Looks like this 30 stack's actually going to go in on my 53 stack. Ooh, I got the better discipline now. But man, am I taking the casualties. Ooh, it's not a good battle. Let's get out of here. We're winning by 27%. Honestly, I might just take this. Can I get them to return any cores over to my boy Syria? Like that one. and maybe Haleb. It's kind of one or the other, huh? All right, what about this? And I'll give this over to my boy Iraq. Okay. All right, yeah, we'll do something like this. Big war just for 2 provinces. I mean, I guess it weakens the Ottomans and it doesn't allow them to expand here in the Mamluks as much, so there's that. So of course the Ottomans are going to be the ones that take both quality and quantity ideas one after the other. I almost feel like I have to take like quality ideas or maybe even quantity after that. Okay, so as a way to just deal with the Ottomans, I'm thinking I'm going to either ally Commonwealth or Austria-Hungary. I'm leaning towards Commonwealth here. They're a little bit stronger. And my truce with the Ottomans is about to be over, which means I could do my promise of land with them, or I could just straight up pay off their debt. I'd probably also get Ormuz, yeah, for sure. I could get them to break their alliance with the Ottomans, so I don't even have to worry about them whatsoever. Alright, let's go ahead and attack the Ottomans with the aid of the Commonwealth. I want to pay off like all their debt, so I could just call these bad boys right in. I guess I could go ahead and promise some land. I really don't care. I just want to kick some Ottoman butt. We'll do it for Khoi, which was the province we attacked them for last time. So second conquest, here we go. Tier 5 government reform, we're just going to go with Subutai strategies. Gives us an additional guaranteed leader siege and also cheaper artillery. Also, I'm pretty much having my way over here in Anatolia. Meanwhile, the Polish are like 1v1ing the Ottomans over here by themselves. And I mean, Poland, they don't have a lot of manpower. They also don't have a lot of troops, but I'll tell you what, they're knocking the Ottoman manpower down. They're giving them a hard time. And this time around, when fighting the Ottomans, my guys are just straight up better than theirs. I have the better generals. This guy's an amazing general. He's a 3623. I also have another guy that's pretty good, 2622. And this guy down here who's a 5331. Pretty much because I have offensive ideas paired up with the Timurid ideas. I have like guaranteed awesome generals when it comes to shock damage. Also too, as you know, I'm one whole mil tech ahead of these guys. So I'm going to show you guys just how much better my guys are. I have 110 discipline, a little bit more morale than them, better mill tactics. And yeah, we're wiping the floors with the Ottomans right now. Alright, this war against the Ottomans, we're only going to do about a 79% peace deal with these guys. I'm going to take like 1 province for myself. I'm going to give Iraq these 2 provinces, and I'm also going to give Syria these 2 provinces back. And of course take almost 1,000 ducats from the Ottomans. Now considering I'm almost out of manpower, but still I have a lot of troops, and of course my vassals are very strong. And I'm also 2 mil techs ahead of the Mamluks. Yeah, you can see where this is all going. We're going to go ahead and invade the Mamluks and reclaim all of Syria's cores. I'm also going to go ahead and pick up Diplo ideas because Diplo ideas are fantastic, especially with the province war score cost. It's going to allow us to take so much land so quickly. And I'm pretty much just going to be focusing on my admin Diplo for the rest of the game. I'm like way ahead in terms of mill tech, so I'm just using it to basically tear down forts at this point. Maybe my next idea group will be a mill one, but if it is, I'll probably do like defensive or quality ideas because I already have like a ton of troops out in the field. And we're pretty much, now that we just dominated the Ottomans, we are like the big guy of the Middle East at this point. So yeah, once we take care of the Mamluks, it's just on to the Ottomans, and we're all good. Alright, simple peace deal with the Mamluks here. I'm just going to take all of Syria's cores back. Nothing more other than 50 ducats, nothing less. And I'm thinking when I get to this right here with the extra +2 Diplo rep, that's when we're going to begin just straight up just annexing all these subjects over here, including Yarkand. And obviously we do have to expand over here in India quite a bit because we do have to, you know, one of our main goals was to basically reclaim Tamerlane's empire, which requires us to pretty much conquer almost all of Anatolia and of course take over this. And our amazing ruler's dead, so now we got his heir Abu Sa'id II with the return of Shah Rukh, who doesn't look like he had a good revival at all. That admin and Diplo's real bad, Shah. It's real bad. so bad. Now that's what I'm talking about, 435. I'll gladly take that any day of the week. And we just got put in a straight up regency. So yeah, we got a while. We got 13 years pretty much, unless our guy decides to die, which I tend to notice a lot of these Muslim Iqta nations. Typically the regent seizes power, and yeah, it's not a fun time. So because I made it up to here in Diplo ideas, plus I have a Diplo rep advisor, I could actually just Diplo vassalize Multan here. And I would imagine, yeah, I could pretty much do the same to a few other nations over here in India, which is fantastic. So I don't have to fight as many wars, especially Multan, who's allied to Jampur, who's really a pain. And of course Bengal, who is like my arch nemesis over here. I hate fighting Bengal, so this definitely helps out a lot. Also, we're like one of the very first nations over here to actually have guns. The only problem is I have to wait like 5 years before I could do anything because I'm still in the Regency. I'm ahead of tech for the Ottomans. The Mamluks are still behind me by 2. A lot of these guys in India, some of them by 3. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck right now until my guy comes of age. Also, the Ming decided to explode, so that's pretty cool. Also, Oirat's doing relatively well for themselves. They're not doing amazing, but they're doing pretty well. Also got a bunch of permanent claims on these guys because the game wants me to reform the Yuan dynasty at some point, which maybe I will do, maybe I won't. Oh, finally my guy came of age, and our heir, we good at him and moderate in Diplo, but that mill is so bad. But oh well. The important thing is we're not going to waste any more time. We're just going to go ahead, straight up attack the Ottomans. They are allied to Muscovy, but if I don't call on the Commonwealth right away, the Russians won't join. So let's maybe not call them in just yet. And in this war, we're going to go ahead and attack them for Yerevan. This is right on our border. And of course, I have no diplomat to send. How lovely. And there we go. Muscovy broke their alliance with the Ottomans, and now I'm going to go ahead and call in the Commonwealth. A little bit of cheese. Finally, I completed this mission right here, Timurid Diwan. We get the politics of the Timurid Diwan happen. Pretty much we could choose the top one. It unlocks a unique government reform, giving us additional governing cap. Also, national focuses actually give us additional benefits like yearly corruption, national unrest, land maintenance. Otherwise, we could just do it at a later time. Obviously, I'm going to enact this right now. So that's super nice. And it replaces the centralized monarchical bureaucracy. So, I mean, that in itself is already better because now I don't have to say it all the time. And, yeah, all the modifiers for this are just really, really nice. Alright, this war with the Ottomans was really easy, especially because I had the Commonwealth helping me out, of course. So we're going to be taking all this stuff right here. We're almost to our furthest extent of the Timurid Empire. You know, we just got to conquer more of this stuff and just a little bit more of Anatolia here. And then, of course, we got to conquer this stuff. Well, not bad. Especially because now, you know, with admin ideas and all that stuff, it makes this stuff really cheap to core up. Also, in case you guys are wondering, yes, we are the #1 great power with 1,308 development. Of course, you know, half's your subjects development, so we are a much larger nation than what the game is letting on. Finally, after just currying favors with Sind and of course coring up all that land, I can now vassalize them as well. That's already a good portion of just India conquered diplomatically without even having to fight a single battle over here. And of course, we will be attacking Delhi very soon. I think I only have a couple more provinces I'm coring. Once that's over with, we're just going to go ahead and attack Delhi. This war with Delhi and Bengal was one of the easier wars I've fought recently. Could actually full annex Delhi. I don't really have any plans to do that. We're just going to take all their stuff over here. They could be consolidated to Tibet. I really don't care. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and concentrate the dev over here because it's just going to make it way easier for me to just core this stuff up. And yeah, I'm still over that 100 overextension, but it's a little bit better. I can also complete the Defy Delhi mission. We get Punishment of Delhi. We can no longer form the Mughals, but we get additional core creation cost and admin efficiency. and permanent power projection, or we just get 25 power projection. We're gonna go with that top option. I'm also gonna go ahead cancel all my cores here because yeah, that was way too expensive. I can also complete conquer Hindustan, which we get destruction of India until the end of the game with available loot. We also unlock the plunder economy government reform at the noble privileges monarchy tier, allowing us to raise provinces, but we don't get as much raising stuff, but that's okay. And that is right here, this plunder economy one. Obviously we will go ahead and do that one. That's literally the best option. I'll go ahead, stop the coring on these one more time, burn these provinces to the ground, get our monarch points. Now we'll core everything. And we can also complete an additional mission, producing a war chest. Oh yeah, because I have so much money. And yeah, we've pillaged some stuff quite a few times. But until the end of the game, we get loot and plunder, giving us additional looting speed and war score from battles modifier, and we also lose 2 corruption. Not bad. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start another war, this time against Mughal. And yeah, we'll attack them for Churu right here. So after just beating the crap out of Mughal, I could complete this mission, follow the river, giving me a general with 30 tradition who gets +2 shock, +2 fire, and +1 siege guaranteed. We get manpower recovery speed and a impact for the next 30 years, along with 20 prestige, which gets converted to monarch points. I'm really interested to see this general. Oh my god. That's a 6624. That's disgusting. Okay, so at this point we've conquered all the Indian stuff that we need to. So now I can start integrating some of my Indian subjects, and heck, I'll even integrate Yarkand just because I can. And as soon as my truce with the Ottomans is over, guess what? We're going to be expanding into them, conquering the remaining areas that we need to own, which is Sivas and basically this area here. I don't think we need to own anything up there. In terms of the map that I'm using, it would just pretty much get cut off like right here. So I guess, yeah, we'll just attack them for like this area pretty much. 4th idea group time. I'm thinking either quality or defensive ideas. I feel like defensive might actually blend or synchronize better with our Timurid ideas, so we'll just do that. Alright, I think it's time we finally invade the Ottomans. They did ally the French. That's because the Protestant leagues are forming, but we're 2 miltex ahead of the Ottomans. I just need this area right here. I think we'll be able to do it, especially with the aid of the Commonwealth, who do not want to join, but I could pay off their debt. Should be okay. Let's go ahead and do that first. Alright, now let's go ahead and do this. So this is what it feels like to be 2 miltex ahead of the Ottomans, just whooping their butts. And I could immediately take all this stuff that I actually wanted out of this war, plus almost 1,000 ducats, so I'll gladly take that. And that should be our last war of conquest. Oh, wait. I forgot this area. Oh, man. Okay, we'll be back for that stuff a little bit later. In the meantime, I'll just continue integrating my subjects, and then, yeah, we'll call it a day after we integrate everybody and take over the rest of the Caucasus. I guess I completed this mission, Persian Gulf Trade, which now gives me permanent claims over here in Ormuz. Okay, our truce with the Ottomans is over again. This time we are going to go ahead and take everything that we need from these guys in this region here, and of course, again, Commonwealth. Also built up quite a bit of a navy, which is just heavy ships. Should allow me to get onto Ormuz so I could take their capital. Alright, finally, this war wasn't that bad. It's just that Poland was really getting focused on by France, but yeah, we'll be able to take exactly what we need. And now it's just integrating the rest of our boys. I could also complete a mission apparently. Where is it? This one, conquer Caucasia, which gives us a permanent claim on the steppe regions and gives us a good general. We also get secured the Caucasian frontier till the end of the game, giving us morale armies and missionary strength versus heathens. Alright, the year 1600, I think this is where we're going to call it for today. I've restored the entirety of the Timurid borders, plus I also have Yarkand as a subject. and that does make us the #1 great power with just almost 2,000 development. The next closest nation being Castile with 1,200 dev. And in terms of military power, yeah, we got a pretty good military. We could have up to 160,000 troops. Got decent discipline. Obviously, if I went like quality ideas, or discipline would be up there. But that morale of armies is pretty high for 1600s. 6 morale. And in terms of an economy, yeah, we're making a good amount of money. I mean, as you guys can see, I'm spending quite a bit in advisors. I also have quite a bit in terms of diplomatic expenses because I was hoping to actually annex Yarkand here, but maybe next time. So yeah, the Paradox buffed my favorite nation in EU4, and they made them even more overpowered than they already were, and I love it. I absolutely love that they made them this strong, and I love that there's so much new flavor and content. I love the fact that they actually have a mission tree now, guiding you towards either assimilating with the Persians or going down this whole path of basically burn everything down. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my other EU4 content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.